Hi, welcome to the Classic Car Cave. So this is a bit of video footage from the gentleman called Dirk in Belgium, where Steve from D3S Shooter got a lot of these spare parts, and as you can see this is his father's workshop, who unfortunately passed away, and this is a lot of the stuff that he's left behind. Some of the parts you'll see that I've got, and Steve was good enough to pass a lot of these parts on to other people, and a few things he kept for himself for I think it was a Renault engine, which showed up a bit earlier. But there was such a lot of stuff this gentleman had collected over the years, and you can see right at the end of the clip just exactly how much space he had in there. And of course, the more space you have, the more you keep. But things like all these bits of rubber and hoses and stuff like that, you just can't get the quality of this stuff nowadays. I mean, this rubber stripping. But Dirk asked me in an email to overdub his voice, these carburetors. Um, he asked me to overdub the voice, so this is what I'm doing. And but just to show, there's that horn that was passed on to me, and a bunch of other stuff as well. So I guess they had to clear it all out. There's a lot of stuff here, and just I think it's an old Villiers engine by the look of it. If anybody knows, perhaps they can tell me. But it looks like a Villiers engine. But the amount of stuff that people collect, and I'm doing it myself, and I'm sure other people do, that'll come in handy. But look at the size of this workshop. It really is, it's quite a size, two-poster ramp and everything. But it was very good of Steve, very good of Dirk to pass this on, and again, for Steve to pass it on to others. So there you go. So this is a vehicle that was just setting up the road from us, about 800 meters away. And I just happened to get talking to Peter, and he's been looking for one of these Mercedes for some time. And I mentioned it to him, and he's done a deal with a girl that owns it. And there is some work to do to it. It's failed its MOT, but on minor things, considering it was built in '77, and it's in really, really good condition. So I've kind of inherited some of the work on it to do for him, and so it can be driven over to the UK. And yeah, he has some great ideas of what he wants to do with it. Some weird ones as well. I think he's talking about Jägermeister, the drink colours. The orange with the Jägermeister on the side. Yeah, I think he's going to completely revamp it. But it's only got 96,000 miles on it, which is quite incredible for a camper of this age, because there's no electronics, no computer stuff to piss around with. So very reliable camper. As long as it's got diesel and you've got a battery on it, it'll run. And apparently, he said to me they call these things like million-mile engines or million-kilometre engines, whatever. Very unsophisticated. Don't go very quick, but they've got that certain look at that, and certainly retro. There you go. So this is what he's intending to do: is make a pop top on it, which is a brilliant idea. And you can sit and watch the races or whatever you're doing camping. I'll give you an update as he gets on with it. So I've been doing quite a few videos on this caravan, and the weather's been extremely hot here, so I think I'll leave it for a couple of days until the start of next week when it's a bit cooler. It's very hot in the tent down below, and the temperature in here in this main garage up the top stays between kind of 18 and 20, so it's perfect. So just give you a quick update on some things. So as I said, I got these from Steve in Belgium on D3S Shooter, and I know a guy up near Linz who does Jaguar stuff, and I've come to a deal with him. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give him these 3 pumps. He's going to completely rebuild one for me. I could get the kit myself, but he's going to completely rebuild one, and I'll give him the other 2 pumps because I only need one extra one. This little SU pump that normally goes on a Mini, you can see how bad the corrosion, I guess you can see it, how bad the corrosion is in that, but it might be reusable again, we'll see. But this is definitely a little air pump. I've tried it out, you can hear it pumping. So it's obviously off an air horn. So I'll just take that live out of that battery. So yeah, unfortunately there's no update with the XK. I've been trying to get hold of the guy. I understand he's gone on holiday somewhere and he's not picking up his phone for whatever reason. I'm just hoping that the paintwork is done, and they're leaving it for a few weeks to dry off naturally before they start polishing it. Or maybe they've already started polishing it. I just hope it's already painted, that's the main thing, but I don't have an update on that. So as far as other things are concerned, Amir's due back in the middle of the week, I think Wednesday, so there's quite a few jobs to get on with. I've put this wheel arch on, and what I've done is I haven't measured it yet, but I've looked back at some old video of the car when it was together, when the Citroen was together and the running boards were on the car here. And as it turns out, where I'm going to fit these is just about the right place. It's almost probably to the half-inch it will fit, so that the panels on the side will actually fit where it is now. And what I don't want to do is go past this ridge in the chassis too much. And in fact, it turns out, luckily, there are some brackets on it which I can utilise to put these on. So what we'll do first is actually take this completely apart when I have some space. Take this apart and get it all sandblasted, and then work from there. But I think it's going to work. That's going to turn out quite nicely, I think, for the chassis, because there's a flatbed to go right the way across this, which will have sides on it, step sides on it, and and then we can put the running board, and there's quite a lot of work to do. I can't see me having this on the roof for quite some period of time, but we'll see how it goes. So on to the next bit. As you can see, I've got these 5 new wheels from MWS, Motor Wheel Services in the UK, and there they are. Very, very nice. See, they've got a spiral hub on them, and they will fit on to the XK150. They're 72 spoke, 16 by 6, normally they're 16 by 5. But I wanted the bigger tyre on it because I have an easy steer kit from Holland, and that will obviously make the steering a lot lighter, because there's a powered motor inside it. And I think it will fill the arch better. The problem with the 5s is they look a bit too slim in places, or they don't seem to fill the arch quite as nicely, and I do like a wider wheel. Although without power steering or power assisted steering, they're extremely tough to turn. The more surface area you have, obviously the harder it's going to be to turn them. So this is how they look, and I'm really pleased with them. I think they're going to look great. So just a little quick update on what's going on here. So Minimoke's still working fine. Batteries seem to be okay on it. The Cooper, I still have not got the paperwork for it, so I still can't put it on the road, and I'm trying to get hold of the guy again. Some of these people seem extremely reluctant to pick up their phones for whatever reason, whether they're on holidays or what, I don't know. But this is something I have to get sorted out. I want to drive it this summer. As far as the Track Mini is concerned, all we've got to do, as I said before, is take the seat out, and it's pretty much ready to go. I'm hoping that we can get out to Pannonia Ring with it and test out all the stuff that we've put in, you know, the new seat, the anti-roll bar at the back, the full throttle, the oil cooler, and I'm waiting now for a gear shift light to come. I can't remember the name of the company now, but there's a gear shift light coming from the UK, courtesy of Alex Hart. He's going to get that for me, and apparently it's just a matter of interference fit with the coil wires, and then you can tune it to whatever you want. So that's that. Of course, the minibar is still working perfectly well. And lastly, the E-Type. So yeah, we need to go out a bit more in this. I've not gone out so much in it this year as I would have liked to have done, but this is a car that I need to really put some kilometres on this year and really enjoy it, because it's done nothing over the COVID time. So, as you know from a video before, I had some friends over from the UK, and they took quite a bit of video themselves and a few photographs and stuff. And one of the things they did do for me was they took a photograph of the E-Type and then put it in a frame and presented it to me, and I'll show you that right now, and this is it. So there you go. And it's a beautiful picture. Tom took it, and it's an unusual one because it's quite arty and looking at the back end of the E-type, and hopefully that you can see that pretty good. And that's going up on the wall in here. It's a nice arty shot. It's not something I would have thought about doing actually, to have the back end of the car, but it's such a beautiful shape, and I'm very pleased with it. And thank you very much, gentlemen. So on that note, as usual, stay safe, keep the faith, enjoy your hobby,